It's like a family tree, part of you and part of me. And if we should separate, go your own way, I won't wait.
Bring the funk back.
Look at that. Hopefully just check that I've got all the microphones, everything on, because I do have a tendency to keep everything muted. Big week this week. Obviously, got heaps of people on viewing. Everyone wants to know what the Skeers boys are up to. We're going to have a chat to them about some upcoming events, some events that they've just had, and probably the year that has been. So I have Mitchell on tonight. Nathan's away working, and we did ask for the other member of the team, Jamie, to come on, but Jamie was unavailable tonight due to fear of talking in front of the microphone. So we'll leave him at that one. But yeah, we've got heaps on, heaps of people in there. I can see already: Christy, Scott, Mick, Kev, Trent, Ryan, Shane, Bruce, Steve, Brendan, Adam, Aaron, Mark, Jeff, Elion, Bo, Mark, they're just the people that have put their postcodes in. Don't forget Postcode Prize, obviously, tonight. G'day, Kyle. Is a Team Venom hat and the Wilson buff that I showed you a couple of weeks ago. That's the postcode prize for tonight. We also have Harry's box going off later on as well as a bit of a prize. So, heaps of people on. Get your questions ready because we do have the guru himself on to talk all things, I suppose, native. We're not going to call them just Murray cod experts anymore after looking at their fish from the weekend at Mulwala in last year. They know how to catch big yellers as well. So it's not all about the cod. So don't forget all of that. So don't forget to get your questions in. But I've got plenty for him. So we'll get him on and we'll have a quick introduction and then we'll start asking him some questions. So here we go. G'day, mate. How you going?
Good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, no, I'm good. I'm very good. I just get the screens right. Hopefully everyone can hear the volume and everything. We normally have some problems because out where you all live, the internet's not the greatest.
No. Yeah. No.
But I think that's all right because I can hear, so that's the main thing. Because I love getting you on because I learn heaps just as much as everyone else. I think I think the misconception is everyone thinks that I want to get you on so they can learn stuff. I get you on so I can learn stuff as well. I have to say congratulations on your back-to-back wins in the Team Fishing Australia at Mulwala a couple of weeks ago. In all honesty, did you think you could double it up?
No, we didn't. We probably didn't have a real crash hot pre-fish, I don't reckon. We found a few fish, but we didn't find them real big ones like we did last year. And we thought we were going to sort of struggle. We're hoping the morning bite was going to pay off for us, and every morning we sort of started off in a different spot. But I suppose just the probably 8 o'clock onwards bite sort of got us through. I reckon just them 70 model fish.
Yeah,
the cod, and then the yellows were sort of all throughout the day. It didn't really matter, I don't think.
Now you caught some cracking yellows. I've got the scores up here. I mean, your smallest yellow is 52. And there's a lot of people that can't even catch a yeller in Mulwala. So we've sort of broken a myth over the last couple of years that there's no that there isn't big fish in Mulwala. But Loomsy caught a 60. You had a 55.5, a 53.5, and 2 52s. Were they accidental fish throughout the day when you were chasing cod, or do you actually target those fish?
We knew they were sort of. So the yellows, they were sort of hanging on the river edge, I suppose, and we sort of knew what to look like, what were yellows. So we'll just sort of putting along. We found a good school last year that had big fish, where this year we found the bigger yellows were just singles on a stump or something like that, and they were just hanging there, and we'd go out there and catch them. So.
Yeah, that was kind of weird because you did say last year, and it showed on the scoreboard that you just went straight out there. You caught these yellows, you were done and dusted, and you were, on the board with the yellows. And everyone was like, how the hell did they do that? So you sort of found them in the one area last year, but it's totally different this year, didn't it?
Yeah, it was sort of, they weren't. We did find schools, but they weren't the good, like 50-plus model sort of stuff that we were hoping for. And we did find, even when we were up there for the Nationals, we seen yellows on the trees like that, and they weren't eating our cod lures, so they have to be yellows. So. Yeah.
And, that was one of the questions that I had for you tonight, and you've tipped on it, so we'll go straight into that. Yep. You come down, you got the invite, I suppose, through Tony and the guys at Fish Camp Ski to say, hey, come down and fish against the best of the best, the cod gurus, and see how you go. He put the challenge to his, and he's come down. And first of all, this is a two-part question. First of all, how'd you find the comp? And second of all, how good was Thomas and Ricky Doyle to be up there where they were?
Yeah, it was really fun comp for me, Nath. Like we sort of the first 2 days we had our head stuck in the screen and we're doing our scope stuff, and we did catch fish, but then the last two we sort of we nearly basically didn't have the front screen on. We're just casting and in our areas. It was sort of, we probably should have done a bit more pre-fishing up there. We sort of, after the first 2 days, we sort of ran out of spots on the flats to get fish.
Yep.
And we kept going back through them, and we were getting a couple, but we weren't getting the numbers we should have.
Yeah.
I think. But yeah, I suppose it's just to get to know the lake a bit better, and yeah, see how we go.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you've had limited opportunities on there, and anyone that you know is going up against Ricky Doyle or Thomas Pinter in that situation that pretty much live at the dam for the months leading up to the Nationals, it makes it very, very hard to compete against those guys. And there's no disrespect to them. I mean, they're not breaking any rules. They're allowed to do it, so they do it. But it makes it hard to travel there, you know, and work out those patterns in the tough times, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's and hands down to them. Them guys do know how to fish that dam and how to do it with the spinnerbaits and all that sort of stuff. It's real interesting actually, just catching up with them and having a yarn with them how they do it, and it's it's a completely different way that we fish down this way.
Yeah, for sure. And and that's what I found talking to people on this show is each time you talk to them on air and off air, it's exactly the same story. They're not bullshitting for the camera, but they do things in this dam that I just go, I would never have tried that. I would never have done that. That's something that just doesn't make sense.
I think they fish structure, not fish like where we're just fishing fish.
Yeah,
we chase the fishery and sort of thing, or we're in the area. We're looking for areas where there are fish, where them guys are in there fishing the structure for the fish, I suppose.
Yeah, for sure. And you know, when I had Ricky on the show a couple of weeks ago, he sent me a few photos, and I'm not sure if I got to put them on air, but basically he was in the carpet. Like literally, I don't know how he got into some of those spots to fish, because you try and push in there with the electric and the weed just, you know, pulls you up. And he's fishing in that, but legitimately chasing fish in stuff that 99% of people wouldn't go into.
Yeah, absolutely.
Live site doesn't work in there.
It's pretty hard to find everywhere looks the same at Marwala too. You've really got to break it down with your maps and your depths.
Yeah,
know what's right and what's wrong and what side of the edge to work the weed.
Yep, for sure. Now,
all the boys were
so as you said, I suppose the good thing about that I found with the Nationals is it takes a lot of I don't know, the preparation out for you. Probably the wrong wording of it, but when they nominate what lures you can throw on what days, you can use live scope, you can't use live scope, to be able to turn turn that live scope off or forward facing sonar or whatever you want to call it, and not look at the screen all day and go back to fishing is actually quite enjoyable, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. It is. You're sitting back and you zone in on what you're casting at a bit more and the structure and that, I suppose, what them guys do really good. So yeah, it is. It was enjoyable, and we're definitely doing it next year. So
yeah. So if anyone's out there, it is the Cod Nationals. Look it up through either Fish Camp Schema, Whaler, or actually just look up the Cod Classic. It's through their webpage. Look it up. It is a cracking comp. You get fed each day. They do great meals. Breakfast, lunch, and dinners. It's bloody awesome the way that it's set up. So it is well worth the effort. Well, what have you got coming up, mate? I think Wyandotte.
We've got a couple of AYCs. I'll hopefully get down to them. We've sort of just comps have been lining up, which has been a shame. But hopefully we're going to get down to a windy AYC and the Wangler Cod. So I've just got to convince the missus that should be all right.
And can we imagine seeing you as a team over at the Teams Fishing Glenbourne round chasing bass?
Yeah, maybe. We'll see how we go. I'd like to get a bit of pre-fishing in if I do.
All right, I'll just hold you that. I wouldn't mind you donating some cash to the bass fishermen instead of us bass fishermen donating the cash to all your winnings.
It's definitely on the cards. We'll see what's on.
No, you'll probably bloody win that anyway. All right, we'll get some questions in for the Powers Be Outside Christies on there. Firstly, congratulations on taking out the comp. It was a cracker of events. Besides the win, what were your highlights for you personally or for your team?
It was probably when we got the 600 yellow in, that was pretty good. The first morning we sort of got an all right fish. We got an 89 first up the first morning about 8 o'clock, so that was a pretty good start. You just sort of don't want to be starting the comp being fishless for the first couple of hours. It sort of puts you on the back foot, I reckon. But yeah, them two were probably one of the highlights.
Yep, and it was different this year. I mean, last year you'd wrapped it up by the end of day one. This year you had teams chasing. You had Derek and Cade. You had Kyle, Brad, and Simon. You had Brad, Warren, and Neil. They were all close enough to one or two big fish would have taken over the top. So you had people pushing you the whole way this year, didn't you?
Yeah, we did, mate. Yeah, it was after that 10 o'clock on Sunday? Yeah, we're sitting there doing the figures with what Cade and Derek had to get, and it was I think it was only 70 centimetre fish or something like that. And we caught a couple of fish 70 centimetres that morning. We're like, oh shit, but lucky enough just to hold on.
And look, I mean, you've won it by enough this year, but as you said, your fish, your yellows were all crackers. And your cod were all, those good cod for my whaler, but you didn't catch any of the big cod that you caught last year. Cade on that last day caught that metre 20, which helped out their score immensely.
Yeah, that's what's
but that would have hurt if they took you over with 1 metre 20 on the last day.
Yeah, no, we're a bit devo when we seen it. We're like, oh god. Catch 120, even in comp day to catch a 120, that's pretty good going. It was well done to the boys too.
Yeah, for sure. No, it was awesome.
They only needed another hour or so out there, and they would have come up wet sail.
I think so. I think they were that close. They had them. You guys had them sort of teed in those bigger fish for sure. Both teams. All right, thanks for that question, Chrissy. There's a lot of questions. I'm not going to bring them all up. There is a lot of questions on there about the new Garmin transducers. Have you changed over yet?
No, we're still on the 32, so haven't got 34 yet.
No, that's all right. I'm just to cover those questions because I'll keep coming up all night. So for anyone that wants to know the comparisons between the LV32 and 34 from personal experience, you haven't got it, but have you had any?
Yeah, a few boys I know have got it, and they reckon it's definitely worth the money. So it's it's just that.
So what's the changeover price?
I think I couldn't tell you actually. Probably 1,800, I think.
Yeah, so you got it. Is it a whole new black box and transducer, or just the new transducer?
Just the transducer came with itself. You can still use the GLS 10.
So
it's
So just as a silly question, because I know a couple of people are running it now. They're running the portrait and forward mode transducers. They've went out and they've bought 2 transducers, running one each way.
Yeah.
If you upgraded to the 34. Could you keep the 32 running on there as your second transducer?
Yeah, you could as long as you obviously got the 2 boxes there. You could have the perspective then.
Awesome.
Forward facing.
All right, Scotty's got one here. It's do you ever walk the banks of dams and rivers casting, or just stick to the boat?
No, I do a little bit at the local dam around parks here. We just I'll go out for a morning, just on a Sunday morning or something like that, and do a bit of surface fishing or something like that. Used to be real good there, but haven't had too much luck lately.
No, that's fair enough. And I mean, why would you bother going out?
But usually if I've got a morning free or a day free, I'll be in the boat somewhere.
Yeah. I was going to say, why would you bother walking the bank when you've got all that beautiful cod water around you that you could have in the boat?
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Just going through.
Yeah.
Bruce wants to know, do you have a favourite lure to chase cod with?
Well, not really. It sort of changes every couple of fishing trips.
Yeah. I'll rephrase the Tom, the question, just to make it maybe a little bit easier, like a style, is in the lures themselves, so swim bait, surface, wire baits, like spinner baits, what would be?
Definitely swim baits, and we're sort of been fishing sort of more soft plastic type lately with better success. That's I don't know why. We just we've gone back to big soft plastic sort of thing.
Hasn't that changed?
Swim bait sort of. Yeah, it used to. Yeah, I used to be the harder sort of gigantual, all that sort of stuff thrown through, but now we're sort of
a bit of both.
Leaning back to the sort of just don't know. We still do, but it's whatever you.
Yeah, no, for sure. Confidence is the key, isn't it? All right. Luke wants to know, hey mate, do you have a favourite rod set up for cod? What's your favourite cod rod?
Oh, mine's a 6 kilo Venom. 7 footer. That with an ATC, that's what I pretty much use all the time, unless I'm throwing real big, like gigantual size or something 200 mil plus. I'll probably go to the swim bait rod or the 8 kilo. Depends how long I want to launch it. But I sort of we only use the Venom and blades and tail and all that sort of stuff too. But that's the pick of them for me. The 6 kilo is just a bit lighter. You can pitch them a bit better.
And that's the key, isn't it? Like when you're spotting them on scope, they're not friggin' 400 meters away. You're actually flipping shit at them, so you don't need a super heavy rod to cast a big spin weight. Yeah,
that's right. And we've sort of probably downsized a lot of our lures and that now. Like you see what happens at Marwala, everything's a bit spooky, and the splash of the big gigantals and all that sort of get them a bit scared these days, unless you're blasting it straight past on the fairway. So. Yeah.
And it's amazing to see those fish and how their reactions are. I mean, you throw a swim bait out and, at a metre long cod, and then all of a sudden it hits the water and the cod just takes off, and you go, well, friggin', how many times has that happened to me in life?
Yeah, that's right. They've definitely changed over the last 12 months what they were. They've been pressured.
Do you think that they're, because we're casting lures straight in front of their face all of the time, that they're learning?
Yeah, absolutely. They're definitely seeing more lures than what they did before. Now we can see them. Yeah, we're running. They're seeing a lot more lures. We've got to become better to trick them into eating. And I think that's got a lot to do with all your bite times and all that sort of stuff. If you can see them, I haven't fished Marwala this year at night time yet. Well, I have once actually, but once you do that, it should be fairly well.
Yeah, for sure. Trent wants to know what lure did the most damage for your team for the team's comp.
I can't say, but it was the same lure we won it with last year.
Yep, that's all right. So
we didn't. Me and Nathan both got the same lure, and they don't make it anymore. And we hadn't swum it since the last comp.
No, that's all right. So that's the biggest hint that you give them there is they don't make it anymore. So, but with the yellows, were you using the standard yellow stuff?
What's that? Sorry.
With the yellows, were you using the standard yellow stuff?
Yeah. We'll just go up on them with a 10 gram jig head.
Yep. Ben's got a scope question here, so it's kind of a long one. What do you find works best once finding a nice cod on the scope? Slow rolling it consistently or work the swim bait on its nose? So I'll leave you to answer that one because you're the expert on that.
I don't know. You sort of, definitely with a hard swim bait, you don't want to stop it or make anything look unnatural. Like make it, if you've got a heavy chin weight or something on it, you don't want to stop so it sinks and looks weird, I suppose. But you definitely got to keep it moving, I reckon. We don't, even if you're going away from the fish, I'd still keep it moving and then have another crack in the next cast, you know what I mean? Don't just pause it and skip on. But with a soft plastic and all that sort of stuff, they love it on the drop. with the soft plastic. So yeah, it depends what you're fishing with, I suppose.
Yep, for sure. That's awesome question. Thanks, Ben. There must be a bit of banter going on there about the lures and whatnot. I'm just trying to skip over where I think it's actually banter. There's a few Wyangler questions. Mark's probably got a good one here. What are your thoughts into Wyangler being of a high water storage percentage ahead of the AYC comps? And do you think, what's it say? Comps, if you
think any social fishing.
Yeah, tips. Yeah.
Yeah, I love Wyangler 100%. It's been that all this season, basically. It's just hovered around the high 90s and the 100s. Yeah, we've got some cracking fish up there. Yeah, so we're real happy with how it's fishing at the moment, actually. They're pretty spread out, but they're chewing good, actually.
Yep. So you got both river arms.
What was that, sorry?
So you got both river arms you can get up for miles up?
Yep. Yeah, as long as, you can go, I don't know, I think I done a run up there the other day and it was 40 Ks from the main boat ramp up the Lachlan Arm you could get.
That's crazy.
So it's a long way.
That's a long way.
Yeah.
So there you go, Mark. If you're social fishing, just take the extra fuel. All right. Trent's got one here. He said, awesome work on the weekend. Congrats. Well deserved. Or he's saying, has your AYC experience in techniques helped you catch fish at Mulwala?
Oh, yeah, 100%. Yeah, it just, We basically went there with a few people telling us how to catch yellows at Mulwala, sort of stuff going up the river and fish the willow trees and all that sort of stuff. But we just, we ended up, how we got on it, we just, we're poking through the main bowl, just looking for cod as we do. And, we just had a gulp down and we kept getting little cod and all other, But then once we figured out what we need to look for, the yellows, they sort of come through, and then as we're looking for cod, we kept finding them, so we're marking them, and then
and that's the thing, paying attention to what's going. But don't ever just because it's never been done before, don't think that it's can't be done. And I had that a lot of people tell me that you had to fish a certain way to catch a certain fish, and it's not the only way to catch them.
Yeah. No, that's right. And there's some good yellows coming out of there too. I think the second biggest was there was 58
I've got a picture.
58,
there was some huge yellows.
Good fish.
Jamie 60, then Brad Murray, Neil Hodges both caught 58s, and Cade and Kyle Dalrymple and Blow caught 257 and a halves. Then Scotty Smith and you and Glenn Scoble caught 55. So, I mean, there was some cracking fish in there.
Yeah.
Windermere size.
Yeah, they were.
I was just going through the questions. I'm trying to weed out all the different transducer questions and whatnot. So Bo's got a good one here. So has your biggest cod come from using live scope, or you caught it back in the day when you didn't have the technology?
I did have the technology on my boat, but I wasn't using it. It was like probably the first. I was at Burrendong, and I did have it there. I reckon it was probably a month after I had it, but I didn't sort of know what to do. Actually fish on it. And I sort of just had it there flicking around. But, I was still casting flats. And, got a 124. That's my biggest.
That's crazy. So, even before you had the technology, you were still catching them anyway.
Yeah.
So, if you look at waterways like Eildon and Hume and these massive waterways that have now got good qualities of cod, great bait, where do you expect these cod to stop growing at? What sort of size? Because you hear all the rumours and but we're getting regular reports of 120s, 125s are not uncommon now in Mulwala.
Yeah.
How big are these fish going to grow in these bigger waterways?
Yeah, I don't know. It's probably I I've no idea. You obviously like blaring and all that sort of stuff. You see some big girls coming out of it. You used to over the years. I think there was some meter 40s caught there. So
yep.
I'm not 100% sure.
Maybe these old photos that we see all the time of these big cod that you go, oh, they can't be real. Maybe they were real.
Yeah, they would have been. Yeah, there's no reason why not to. Even down in the Murray and all that sort of thing. If the Blackwater event didn't get them, they'd be.
Yeah,
there's definitely some big fish down there.
Awesome. Now I'm going to have to do the postcode prize. We normally do it about halfway through the show. So the postcode prize tonight is William Groves, and the postcode is 3564. For people who want to know how that is drawn, Harry, my son, sits inside and picks them out at random. So that's William Groves 3564. You need to send me a message to my Facebook page, Corey's Damn Fishing, just with your address details so I can post them out. So you win these are really cool, actually. These they're like a Wilson buff and beanie all in one. Boothie got me these at the start of the year, but yeah. So you got the beanie and the buff. Pretty good for those cold days. Sun protected all over. So I'm going to keep one of them for myself. They're pretty cool to have in the boat. So, William, can you get us your details, please, to my Facebook page, and I will send that out to you this week. All right, we'll keep going back to the questions. Just get back to where we were. There's always, when we've got you guys on, there's always going to be lots of scoping questions for sure. I just want to make just make sure we don't skip over any. Aaron says, has live sonar changed the way you fish due to now seeing the fish behaviours?
Yeah, definitely. We it's definitely changed old habits, I suppose, what you used to do and how you used to approach it, I suppose. We used to only fish in winter. We used to only fish the flats in under 2 meters of water, like before dark, when it was dark, sort of thing, in first light. But now we're trying to fish the whole lot. We're fishing 30 meters each side of the boat, sort of thing. Yeah. If we need to, if there's fish there, you know what I mean. They're not just sitting in that shallower water.
Do you find with the forward-facing sonar, I'm not this, I've only used Garmin when I've been on other people's boats, but the bait fish tend to not be as spooked by whatever the noise or what that's coming out of the live sonar. But if you turn on your down scan or your standard sonar and you get that clicking, the bait disappears. But they're not really frightened of the whatever the noise coming out of the live sight sonar is. Do you find the bait tends to stay in front of you all the time?
Yeah, that's right. Even the live scope doesn't make the old 2D sonars that make the big. Used to hear the click in the water when it was nice and quiet. Like you used to be able to hear it. I suppose it's probably that. I don't know. Your live scopes. I don't know how it actually works, but it must be different.
Yeah, it doesn't make the same sound. All right, Kyle's got one here. Do you think with cod growing up always having the mindset that they can be eaten and then spooking big fish on the scope with a big or small lure, they don't realise how big they are?
We were talking about this once, actually, Loomsy, and we're seeing like big meter cod just sitting behind, like this is a wangler when it was down low, and like they were just sitting right like in 5 meters of water on one little twig of a tree, just nosed up straight to it, didn't want nothing to do with anything. And we're just wondering if they thought they were still a guppy or they didn't realise how big they were, or I don't know if they realise. I think it's definitely pressure off the fishermen.
Because if you look at I think if you look at the ratio, a meter 20 cod will eat a meter cod.
Yeah, I'll give it a crack.
So I mean, it's probably always scared.
Yeah, I think it's fishing at the right time too. I definitely believe they only eat at certain times. Like you've seen, like after 9 o'clock, we pack the rods away basically for the bigger fish and try and get a reaction bite out of them or something like that, like swim bait fishing, I reckon. And then don't start that again till afternoon.
Yeah, yeah.
That's just fish at key times, I suppose. People do catch them, but I think it's more of a, could be wrong.
An accident.
They sometimes like if a weather pattern or something's different's coming through or something like that too, it might change things up. There's so many different factors you could put in and say what's right and what's wrong, but generally that's what it is.
No, for sure. Nathan Price, I don't know if he's having a dig here or what. Do you keep up to date with updating your Garmin unit?
Yeah.
Because you never know what's coming out. You got to keep looking at them. It doesn't matter whether it's Garmin, Humminbird, Lowrance. Keep them up to date because there's all new stuff always coming out on them, isn't there?
Yeah, that's right. Too electric motor as well. Update them.
Scotty wants to know what the relationship. Basically, have you ever thought of pushing your brother off the boat, or is it all happy fishing? You have many arguments out there?
No. Every time we go fishing. Yeah. Nah, he's all right.
Sometimes. When he's pulling his weight.
Yeah, when he's pulling his weight. I was a bit slack over the weekend actually at Mum.
All right, still going through. There is heaps of questions still to get through. I'm just going through. Stephen wants to know, here's a good one. This is an interesting one. Have you had any luck with big propeller lures? So obviously we use big spinner baits, but back in the day they did used to use massive propeller lures. There was a
the aeroplane, whatever they are.
Ever thrown any big stuff like that?
Nah.
Somebody had footage of the cod coming up and attacking their electric just a couple of weeks ago. Yeah,
we've had that happen at my angler. I thought it was a myth as well, but it definitely does happen.
Yeah. No, well, I never believed it, but there's too much proof now that they are hitting them. So,
and it was sort of fishing it, and it was all the way to the boat, and then he sort of just hung underneath the boat and seen the electric motor and sat there for a bit, and then we'll sort of wondering what he was doing. Just they sort of do hang underneath the boat a bit sometimes.
Yeah.
And he roared up, whacked it, and then pissed off. So.
Oh, awesome. All right, we'll keep going through the questions. That was a good, interesting question because I have heard people back in the day with their little 6 horsepower motors, just stop them because of cod hitting it and whatnot. And I never really believed them. And now you get all this footage. Everyone's got GoPros on their boat and whatnot. So it's obviously true. Trent wants to know, what's the craziest thing you've seen whilst cod fishing or craziest catch?
Oh, no idea.
Hard one to answer.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I wouldn't have a clue. No idea.
No, that's all right. We'll keep going.
Yeah. Put me on the spot.
No, that's what they're all there for, live questions. It's hard. Yeah. Sometimes it's hard to come up with the...
Yeah. If I think of anything, I'll let you know.
Yeah, no, that's all right. We'll come back to it. Aaron, when you break down a lake for the first time, what do you look for and where do you start?
Depends what we're fishing for, though. I don't know. We look for... don't know. Probably do our research first a little bit, sort of try and find out what people have been doing.
So you'll do,
sort of stuff.
You'll do your research before you
can just your videos, just by your YouTubers and all that sort of stuff if you can. try and make a bit of sense of the joint, know what the joint's all about if you haven't ever been there. If it's a steep lake, if it's a, sort of thing. If it's a comp, see what they wanted on last year. Try that sort of thing, I suppose, like OSC and all that do good. Interviews and all that sort of stuff with the people who caught what on. So
and for sure and that's there are a lot of people out there that hate comp fishing and hate comp fishermen, and they carry on like pork chops and whatnot. But they're the first to go and read the report and listen to what you do and how you do it, and then try and implement it themselves.
Next weekend.
Yeah. So and that's the way to do your research, is look at what's happened in the comps and look at what's happened around that time of year and that sort of thing, for sure. All right, we'll keep going. There's a couple here. There was another one earlier on about changing lures, but what have you found? This is from Damien. What have you found better, handmade lures or just the one straight off the shelf?
Just straight off the shelf, mate. The swim baits we use are, just anyone can buy, I suppose.
Yep. And do you modify them much? Do you go to all the extent of different split rings, different hooks?
Yeah, definitely split rings and hooks. We do that in anything we buy. Even with stuff that's got BBKs and all that sort of stuff on it, we still change them back to their mustard 3 times. Yeah, just a thinner gauge to try and get the hook set. But other than that, we'll not too much really, I suppose.
And that's a pretty big tip there that you're sort of giving away, is those sticky, thinner gauged hooks that can stick in their mouth rather than the stronger, fatter ones, for sure.
Yeah, and that, I suppose we do that, but we obviously don't run we'll lock our drag straight up, but then we're backing it off as soon as we've got a big fish or doing that sort of stuff, and not giving them hell if we don't have to, you know what I mean, to try and stop the bend of the hook, but definitely get them into them.
Yeah. You
don't want to use a 5 times strength hook on them and trying to jam that into them, especially using fluorocarbon. It's going to be a bit harder.
Yeah. No, for sure. Galvo's asking moon cycles. Do you have a preference of favourite part of the moon cycle to fish for cod, or is it just, as we talked about earlier, night time?
Probably when it's full moon, because you don't have to drive in the dark all the way up the dam, but I don't think it matters. It's just easy to drive. I haven't found a preference yet anyway. It's just.
Daniel wants to know, where did your love for fishing come from and how did you start?
Mad on it. So, when we were kids, we were just out at Wangler, dragging lures around the dam with him.
Yeah.
So, that's basically where it started.
All right, there it is. Dad's got you into that one. All right, so we've got a heap of questions here. But I'm going to have to get Harry in. Here he is.
Hello.
Good. Look at you. You look like you're something out of the 70s. Freaking.
No mistakes, just happy accidents.
So what we'll do is we'll do Harry's box here. I've got to draw out a winner. Is there a question that stood out for you earlier on in the night, mate?
What's that, sorry?
Did you have any questions that stood out for you earlier on in the night?
No, not really. I don't know.
I'm just going back to look through them. What do you do? There we go. Daniel, Ben. All right, I'm going to go with Ben Judd. So, Ben, I'm going to write this down. So if you haven't been on before, Ben, you have to actually tell us in the comments. We'll go to a couple of questions. But, Ben, if you're still on, what you need to do is tell us that you're still on, and then Harry will draw something out of the box. Is that how it works?
I think so.
All right. So while we're waiting for Ben to tell us that he's still on, we will go through and ask another question. Brad has said, does each person in the boat have a role in the team competition? For example, one on the pole, others firing casts, rotated around. What's your sort of routine in the boat for a comp, mate?
Yeah, we sort of basically all three of us are on the front deck most of the time, and then once we sort of just swap it around, I suppose. It's if we need to, if we're just cruising along looking for a kite or something like that, there'll be definitely one person on the pole all the time, and then we're just cruising through, and then once we see one, we fire away. But we'll sort of just rotating, and I think on Saturday afternoon I was a bit puffed. I sat down for the last hour at the back of the boat and watched the boys up there trying to get a few yellers. So
is that from carrying their weight all day, or is that from the night before?
No, it was probably just carrying their weight. Nah. I don't know. I was just trying to recuperate. I think I was on the front most of the day, just have a spell.
Excellent.
Excellent.
All right. Well, Ben's actually told us that he's on, so that's good. He's still here. Harry's going to draw a prize out of the picker box here. Now, Ben, if you haven't been on before, what you need to do, get your hand right in there and grab one of them, Harry. What you need to do is you can either have what Harry selects out of here. We're not going to tell you what it is, or you can have the mystery box, which is a mystery box for this one. So you have to, excellent. You have to tell us which one you want. All right. So in the comments, what you say, what Harry originally drawed, or what's in the magic box.
Go original.
All right. You can't give it away. So while we're waiting for this one here,
Don't go original.
Don't go original. Yes. So we're just waiting on Ben to comment on that one. So while we're waiting for Ben to comment on that one, we'll just go. Boogie's asked, how many casts do you have at structure before moving on?
We'll sort of, like the Nationals, I suppose, we would sort of doing our 5-6 casts around the sort of stump or something like that. And then, we're moving on to the next tree right beside, I suppose. It wasn't, I don't know if it was right or not. We were using our live scope the first couple of days, and even we're having fish that hit us or something like that. When we were at the Nationals, we could find its scope and then we could hit them again. And 9 times out of 10, they would hit again on a spinnerbait, the ones on the flat. So that sort of hurt us a little bit not on the live scope days, if you know what I mean. But still made it interesting. There was lures going everywhere. We're like, where do you reckon he went? So we'll just
Yeah. No, that's awesome. Thanks for that question. All right, so Ben has got on there and tell us that Harry's pick, I trust in him. So do you want to tell? We've actually got to get more stock of this one, but we know that it's there. So do you want to tell them what it is?
Oh, is it that one right there?
No. Do you want to tell them what's on the tag?
Oh, yeah, Teams Fishing Australia.
There you go. So it works out pretty close. There is other ones in there. Teams Fishing Australia. So there's a Teams Fishing Australia brag mat. Galbo's dropping them off, and we've got a Teams Fishing Australia shirt to go with that as well. And I believe we've got a Teams Fishing Australia stubby cooler there. So that's what you've won, Ben. So all you need to do is send me your address to Corey's Dam Fishing, and we will get that out to you. So anything you want to say, Harry?
I love your old banana romantic question.
All right, let's go. Let's you go to bed and be up for school in the morning. There's the hand. There's the famous hand, and that one goes out of the barrel. So there you go, Ben. You've won the Teams Fishing Australia pack. So it's a Team Fishing Australia shirt. You got the Teams Fishing Australia brag mat and a Teams Fishing Australia stubby cooler. So I will get them out to you in the next couple of weeks. So awesome. There we go. Go back to the questions, mate, and we'll finish these off because we've nearly hit the hour. There was a good one here. Damien wants to know about barometers. Do you follow the barometer much? He said going off 10, 20 fish are plenty. Do you use the barometer as a guide?
If me and Nathie, when we used to go, like we'll say we'll go fishing a weekend, we're coming up during that weekend, we're trying to pick our days or whatever. We'll try and pick the day where the barometer's moving the most, I suppose.
Yep.
If it's Saturday or a Sunday or whatever, if we can fish either days, one of the days, we'll definitely pick the day that the barometer's moving the most. Doesn't matter if it's up or down.
As long as it's moving. So there's
Yeah.
your...
Yeah, not still or
All right, Kyle's on here having a shot at me. He wants to know if you got any tips for me to catch my first metery at my whaler.
Yeah, hop on my boat on Sunday.
Yeah. I'll be chasing them in the drawdown because it's the only way I'll catch one. So, yes, for people that don't know, Harry, my son, he's on the meter board at my whaler, and I'm still yet to catch one at Mull. So, working my ass off. Joshy Usher's got one here. How far would you have got in the last 2 years fishing for cod without live scope? And saying that you don't move forward with technology, you will most definitely be left behind?
100%. You can't sit there and wait. You got to be on the ball, and everything new that comes out, that's what everyone does, I suppose, even in the tournament sort of things. If there's a new sounder that comes out, that Lowrance, Humminbird, Garmin, whoever, all the good guys want it straight away. So,
were you skeptical?
What's that? Sorry.
Were you skeptical at the start when Live Sight first came out?
Yeah, it didn't take much convincing though. I was when I first went to buy it, Aaron from Outback Angler, he had it on Bomber's boat, and I went out with him for half an hour, mate, and I was sold. It was unreal. Yeah.
I took a little bit of while to swing through because it wasn't that as important, I don't think, for the bass scene in the sense of, but as soon as I started fishing with cod, I was, raving about it. I was all over it. That's all I wanted. Yeah,
that's right. The bass, there's a lot more of the bass in front of you, I suppose. You're not fishing a single fish like you are a yellow or a cod. They're sort of not in massive schools, or yellows are sort of, but yeah.
Now, I've got a bit of a message from way back earlier. I forgot to mention it. I've got to find it. From Shane. He sent me a reminder here, so I better. Shane Richards just wants to thank everyone that helped out when we did our fundraiser for the floods, can't say just Lismore, but the floods up in that area. The money we raised went directly to fishermen, and Shane's just saying thank you to everyone that supported that. So, no, mate, it was our pleasure for sure to support that. That's just a little thing we like doing here. All right, let's keep going through the questions. Just going back to see if I'd missed any. There was a couple earlier on that I think I missed. Well, I'm thinking of questions. Got any shout-outs you want to give out, mate?
I don't know. Not really.
Not really?
Nah.
You've flogged Garmin enough there,
It's definitely them guys. They're Garmin. They sort of took us under their wing, and they've been awesome to us, really. And the Wilson boys, Boofy's been our idol. So, him, and then Loomsy. It's all our fishing tackle.
Yeah. Oh, I was so trying to get Loomsy on this week.
Yeah, he would have been good.
Yeah. Look, as far as everything else goes, he is a bit of a god in the scenes around the fishing, and people don't tend to support the older guys. And I don't want to sound offensive when I say the older guys, but because Loomsy's not that old in the sense of things, but he's cracking results in his fishing himself. So I would have loved to get him on. I'll keep pushing him. I'll get him on one day, even if I've got to go up and I'll sit down and I'll interview him and I'll edit it, and then I'll show him, so he might let me do it as an edited interview. Yeah, but definitely hates speaking on the
really good to fish with. He's got a cool head, and keeps the morale up in the boat pretty well. So doesn't mind having a beer too. So
that's it. All right, I'm just going back through. I can't find. I think we've asked all the questions. As I said, we're nearly at the hour mark. I think I've ticked off everything I want. You have got a couple of comps coming up, so obviously I'd like to wish you all the best in those comps coming up. I'd love to, and this is with all respect, mate, I'd love to see you get knocked off on those comps because I'm sick of you guys cashing in. But there's a reason why you're cashing in is because you're bloody good fishermen, and you know what you're doing. So it's just there's there's one last question which we'll finish off on. But no, I wish you all the best with the rest of the year and what you're doing. And next year we'll see if we can do the three-peat. Obviously, Thomas has just commented there. He's done the three-peat at the Nationals. I'd love to see you guys do the three-peat at teams and show people it can be done. Yeah, absolutely. Well, we're down there anyway. Give it a crack, but Katie wants to know just a quick question at the end because Katie got, as I said last week, got Big Cod Day 2, which was her personal best. Yeah. But she wants to know, which is a relevant question, how many fish did you get for the weekend? Did you catch big numbers of fish, or was it just your 5 or 6 a day? No, we're catching a few. I don't know. Well, on Sunday, I think I got 8 fish over 600 on Sunday. Yeah. But we got a lot around the 68 was sort of our 70 was our smaller, so I think we got a couple 67, 68, all that sort of stuff. They just weren't. We're just trying to get some. Where we were, there was a lot of fish around that size, I suppose. Yeah. And we'll try and upgrade it. Yeah, we were catching. Yeah, it wouldn't have been enough to catch 15 cod a day, I suppose. Yeah. There you go. That's a great answer because I know there were some teams that struggled, and some that doesn't. So that's an awesome question. But mate, small stuff in there too. But yeah. Look, there was a lot of that stuff where we were just oiking them back in. There was no putting them on the measuring tape. They wouldn't even freaking been the same size as the lure. Some of them. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Awesome, mate. As I said. Good luck for the rest of the year. Thanks for coming on. Thank you. We'll get you boys on at some stage again before the end of the year because everyone loves talking to you and listening to what you've got to say. It's always a pleasure to have you on. Obviously, as I said, your brother couldn't come on because he's working tonight, and we'll work on Jamie as the years progress. Yeah, maybe next year. Yeah, might have to do it live from the dam. Yeah. Just telling the camera's not there. All right, guys. Thanks for watching, and we will talk to you all next week. Same bat station, same bat time.